Hi, Morgan here for Onefinity, and today we're going to be making this simple heart-shaped box. The next major holiday is Valentine's Day, every adult man's favorite holiday of the year, right? Well, this year you can be the hero of Valentine's Day, something I'm sure you've always aspired to be. This is a crazy simple project that you can give your special someone and fill with whatever fancy pants gifts you want to give them. Chocolate, electronics, gold bars, diamonds, whatever. Use your imagination. The real goal of this video is to demonstrate how to make a lidded box, and you can use this method for whatever shape you want, and for any occasion. I even jazzed mine up with this custom music box mechanism. And that part I'll leave to you. If you want to incorporate one of these little guys into your project, I'll leave a link in the description where I got this one. They come in all shapes and sizes, so I'll show you how I put this one in, but it's definitely a good idea to have the one that you want in hand beforehand so that you can build your box around it. So, let's get into it. I had some rosewood laying around, and I thought that would be perfect wood to use for this project. The wood's red, Valentine's hearts are red, you get it. Based on the size of what I had lying around, I set the job up that way and used a simple heart-shaped vector. The nice part about it was I didn't have to design the shape. Not that it would have been that hard, but it's so easy to just pull the free clip art available in your toolpathing software. In VCarve, that'll be over here in the clip art tab. So you'd select clip art, and this heart was in objects and people. Once you find the shape you want, right click and select import to level. I imported this to level 1. You'll notice that when it imports, it shows up as a 3D object. I don't want to do this in 3D, so back in the Design tab under Modeling Tools, the heart selected, I'm going to create a vector boundary around the selected components. That'll create a 2D vector around the 3D shape. Once that's there, I'll just go ahead and get rid of that 3D heart. I have 2 pieces of rosewood with identical X and Y dimensions. So everything I do here is going to be centered on the material, and the outer cutout of the shape will be the same for both parts. That ensures that the parts will fit together perfectly. Oh, that satisfying snap. So let's start with the bottom part. The material is 1.75 inches thick, and I want to leave a 1/4 inch at the bottom, so I'm going to create a simple pocket toolpath to clear out all the space in the bottom part of the box, cutting 1.5 inches deep, using a 1/4 inch compression Jenny bit, cutting 12 passes at 200 inches per minute. That's only an 1/8 inch per pass, and I could definitely go deeper if I was using a different bit. But this is a compression bit, meaning that the bottom of the bit has an upcut geometry and the rest of it has a down shear. I want a clean bottom surface, so I want a clean bottom surface, so I want to pull all the dust and chips up and out, not shove them down into the cut. Similar to the base, I want the walls to be a 1/4 inch thick also. So I'll offset this edge by 0.25 inches. That'll be our outer edge of the whole thing, both the top and the bottom parts. Now here's the fun part. To keep the lid aligned with the bottom when put together, I'm going to create a little rabbet to go between the 2 parts. So we'll make that half the thickness of the wall. We'll select the outermost vector and offset it toward the inside by 0.125 inches. That lip will be sticking up, and the rabbet on the lid will be the reverse of that. So let's make that lip 0.125 inches proud. I'm going to cut that as a profile toolpath using the same bit, cutting an 1/8 inch deep outside of the vector. Once that's cut, we can select the outermost vector and cut it the same way. As a profile toolpath, cutting outside the vector, and we'll cut down to 1.5 inches deep to avoid cutting into my new air weight slats. Okay, that takes care of the bottom part. Now let's move on to the top. The main pocket in the lid is going to line up with the outside of the lip on the bottom part, leaving the same thickness at the bottom. So I toolpathed it the same way, using the same bit. Now because I don't want the lid to be too snug, anticipating wood movement, I cut another barely noticeable rabbet in the lid, offset just 0.010 of an inch from the outer lip of the bottom. And instead of 0.125 deep, I made it 0.13. I think that 0.010 of an inch internal rabbet is the key here. It's still a nice friction fit, but not difficult to put together and take them apart. Then I ran a simple VCarve engraving toolpath on the top of the lid just to add a little personalization. And in the VCarve file that we provide for this, I'll have that layer as a text so you can edit the text or put nothing at all, whatever you want. Then I just added a round over to all the edges and sanded. Oh, and here I would recommend sanding with the two parts put together. Here's why. Where the lid meets the base, you want that seam there to be as smooth as possible. If you end up removing too much material from one side or the other, the seam between the two might not look as good. The last thing I did was install this custom music box mechanism. It's really easy to install, it just winds up with a key coming out of the bottom, so I just cleared out a little recess for that with a Forstner bit. And the switch, I guess you could call it, that just gets bent into shape so as to stop the mechanism while the lid is on. It just took a few minutes of playing around with it to get it the right tension on the mechanism. If anyone's interested in getting one of those, I'll put a link in the description for where I got this one. Now just sand that bad boy, slather some kind of finish on it, fill it with treasures, and proudly present it to your Valentine. And again, this is more or less just to show you a good process for creating a lidded box. So whether for this occasion or anything else, this is the way to do it. All right, that's all I have for you today. If you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, do all that YouTube stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fun Valentine's Day. Y'all be good.